Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big Weck. Joining us on the Big Weck Buffalo on the Rise today is Ian Seppala, who's the executive director of the Herschell Carrousel Museum. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
You know, being executive director of a carousel museum, I mean, you know, when you tell people what you do, they've got to be fascinated, right? You become the discussion, you know, the focal point of parties and block parties and things like this.
It is a great way to break the ice with anyone you're with, is that not only do I run a carousel, but also I have a whole museum aspect as well.
You know, the interesting thing that you had mentioned, we talked a little bit before going on the air today, you actually have a master's degree in this, right?
Yeah, so my master's is a museum studies and historic preservation degree, specifically to work in places like this, preserve our historical cultural aspects, but also to be able to educate and all within this very specific setting.
You know, I thought, when I think of museums, I think of things being, you know, like multidimensional. I mean, like there's a lot of different aspects, so there's a lot of different things in museums. Now, when I think of a carousel museum, it seems like it's just one item, but you're telling me it's more than that, right?
Yeah, so even though we're in the original carousel factory, we actually are an amusement museum. So we talk about all the amusement things that happened in North Tonawanda, which are carousels, which are the band organs and equipment by Wurlitzer, and the multiple other rides that were made by the Herschell companies as well. On top of that, we don't just use one lens of looking at these machines. We actually talk about the technology behind them, how they were created. It's very unique for us being able to be in a factory setting, so we teach the science, technology, and everything behind this equipment as well.
What kind of demographic do you think does it attract? Is this kids? Is it older people? Is it people that are North Tonawanda residents or tourists? What's the deal?
So it attracts all ages. North Tonawanda is an excellent city that has a great kind of travel distance between Buffalo and Niagara Falls. So we get tourists all the time, but it also is great for those local families that want to explore more of their backyard and have a fun time doing it with our entertainment and our rides as well.
What do you think is the most fascinating or most exciting part of your job?
It's definitely the smiling faces on the equipment. So everyone has those days at their jobs where it's not as much fun or enjoyable. However, I can just walk right down the hallway and I can see all these bright and smiley faces that are enjoying the carousel, and it reminds me why we do the tough days that we do.
And this is really where it started, right? When you talk about carousels around the country.
Yeah, so North Tonawanda is known as the home of the carousel, and that's because 50% of all American carousels were actually built in the city of North Tonawanda. And then specifically, the factory location that we're in, where the museum is located, is where most of those were built themselves.
Talk about years. When are we talking about when this is happening?
So the factory building that we are in was used from 1915 to 1960. But carousel production in North Tonawanda went all the way back to 1876.
So there's been a lot of changes with regard to machinery, with regard to, you know, whatever, assembling of all of this in over that time, right?
Yeah, so we actually have a bunch of different displays and exhibits that allow us to show you from the original production, which was using all wood from the local area and from the Great Lakes, all the way to the more modern versions that were made out of aluminum. And we even have a animal on display that is fiberglass, which is the modern version as well. So we showcase all of those kind of technological changes.
What kind of events do you have coming up during the summer?
So we have all kinds of amazing events coming up during the summer. We do a car show of classic cars of our time period in front of the museum. We've got some dollar admission days that are coming up in the evenings as well. Kind of different things for all different age groups.
What do you think, you know, when you talk about younger age groups, kids,
Yeah.
What are some of the questions you get from kids? It's entertaining.
Oh yeah, we get all kinds of great questions
Right.
from kids. From as easy of, how does this thing work? Carousels are operated from the top down, so if you actually look underneath, they're floating. So kids ask us if it's magic. They're all balanced from the top. So those are some really funny questions that we get. We get asked if we have to feed the horses all the time. and explaining that, yes, they need a rest sometimes when the museum closes, but we're lucky that we don't have to feed or water our animals.
And do you have trouble keeping kids on them or off them? Either way?
Both.
Both?
They absolutely love riding. Most of the complaints we get from the kids is when they have to get off. But they're excited so much to do it. Having them be the right level of excited is the most difficult challenge we have, which is a good problem to have.
Ian, tell us a little bit about Kittyland.
Yeah, so Kittyland is our collection of 4 rides that are outside. They're children's rides, helicopters, boats, cars, things like that. They were all made within our factory. And what's unique to them is 3 of the 4 rides actually came from Page's Whistle Pig.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 of the 4 rides were in Niagara Falls at Page's Whistle Pig. They're now still in the community here at our museum, and we're able to showcase them and let people ride them during the summer.
I still remember pulling the bar back and then going up.
You'll have to come back and visit
all over
and
again.
ride it again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Ian Seppala, this is very, very interesting, and I commend you on what you do at the Herschell Carrousel Museum. It's world renowned. And for more information and answers to your questions, you can contact Herschell Carrousel Factory Museum by calling 716-693-1885 or go to carouselmuseum.org. Sponsorship and promotional considerations for the preceding segment was provided by Herschell Carrousel Factory Museum. And don't forget to join me weekday mornings 7 to 9 a.m. on The Big Wack.